You know those stories where the hero swoops in at the last minute to save the day? Well, get ready, because we're about to dive into a tale that makes those look like child's play. We're talking about a woman so smart, so determined, and so full of love. She literally talked the god of death out of taking her husband. No capes, no superpowers, unless a super brain counts. Just pure, unadulterated wit. This is the incredible story of Savitri and how she outsmarted death itself. Our story begins in ancient India, in a kingdom ruled by a wise and just king named Ashwapati. He was a good ruler, but he had one wish above all, a child. After many years of devotion and prayers, a divine blessing granted him a daughter, whom he named Savitri. And let me tell you, Savitri wasn't your average damsel in distress princess. From a young age, she was extraordinary. She wasn't just beautiful. She was intelligent, brave, and had a mind sharper than a freshly honed sword. She learned the scriptures, understood philosophy, and possessed a wisdom far beyond her years. While other princesses might be busy with royal embroidery, Savitri was probably debating cosmic truths with the kingdom's sages. When it came time for Savitri to marry, King Ashwapati faced a unique problem. Savitri was so radiant and wise that no prince dared to approach her. It was like trying to propose to a super genius rock star, a bit intimidating. So, her father, breaking with tradition, told her to go out into the world and find a husband herself. Talk about progressive parenting for ancient times. Savitri, being Savitri, didn't just wander aimlessly. She traveled far and wide, observing, learning, and finally, deep in a forest, she found him. His name was Satyavan. He was a simple, honest woodcutter living with his blind and exiled parents, King Dumatsina and his queen, who had lost their kingdom. Despite his humble circumstances, Satyavan was kind, strong, noble, and radiated a quiet dignity. He was a genuinely good soul. Savitri was smitten. It wasn't about wealth or status, it was about character. She returned home and announced her choice to her father. Now, here's where things get a little dramatic, like a plot twist in a superhero movie. As Savitri was telling her father about Satyavan, a very wise and well-traveled sage named Narada, the guy who always knows everything, showed up. Narada, bless his prophetic heart, confirmed that Satyavan was indeed a man of great virtues. But then, he dropped a bombshell that probably made everyone in the room gasp. He said, "Savitri, my dear, Satyavan is a wonderful man, but he's got one tiny, teensy problem. He's destined to die exactly 1 year from today." Imagine that. You find your soulmate, you're all excited, and then a divine messenger tells you he comes with an expiry date. Exactly 1 year. Most people would be like, "Nope, absolutely not. Hard pass. Next." But not Savitri. She looked at her father, looked at Narada, and with a sparkle in her eye, and a resolve that would make any action hero proud, she said, "My mind is made up. I have chosen Satyavan once, and I will not choose again. His virtues are enough for me, even if his life is short." That's not just true love, folks. That's conviction, a deep understanding of what truly matters. She was sticking to her man, come cosmic prophecy or high water. So, despite the dire warning, Savitri married Satyavan, and they moved into the forest. She traded her opulent royal silks for simple ascetic robes, truly embracing the humble life. She didn't complain about the lack of palaces or servants. Instead, she immersed herself in helping Satyavan with his woodcutting, gathering fruits, and, most importantly, taking devoted care of his blind and elderly parents. She was happy, truly happy, finding joy in simple living and deep love. But deep down, she carried a heavy secret, a ticking time bomb known only to her and the heavens. She knew the clock was ticking. Every sunrise was a bittersweet reminder that the fated day was drawing closer, closer to the moment Yama, the god of death, would come for her beloved. It must have been like living with a super important, life or death exam looming over your head. But instead of grades, it was the ultimate finality. Imagine trying to enjoy everyday moments knowing that precise, terrible date. It's enough to give anyone a permanent knot in their stomach. Savitri didn't burden Satyavan or his parents with this knowledge. She bore the weight alone, her love for Satyavan strengthening her resolve. As the dreaded day approached, she began a special vow, a kind of intense spiritual practice. For 3 days and nights, she fasted rigorously, praying continuously, her devotion unwavering. She didn't sleep, didn't eat, focusing all her energy on the looming challenge. Her heart was a temple of prayer, a fortress of determination. Finally, the day arrived. The day Narada had warned about. The day the cosmic clock would strike 0. Savitri, with a heart heavy with dread but a spirit fortified by her vow, insisted on going with Satyavan to the forest. He tried to tell her to stay home, to rest after her long fast, but she was insistent, her voice firm and resolute. "My lord, I must be by your side today. I cannot bear to be apart from you, even for a moment." Satyavan, unaware of the true reason for her insistence, indulged her, probably thinking, "My wife is just so devoted, even after fasting." As Satyavan was chopping wood, working diligently under the shade of a large tree, he suddenly felt an intense dizziness, a crushing weakness. The axe slipped from his hand, and he cried out. He lay down, resting his head in Savitri's lap, his breath growing shallow. And then, it happened. A figure appeared. Not just any figure, but a tall, dark, and utterly terrifying being. He glowed with an ominous aura, wearing a crown and holding a noose in his hand. His eyes burned with an intense, unearthly light. This was Yama, the formidable god of death himself. Yama, in a voice that was both ancient and resonant, explained that he was there to take Satyavan's soul. He pulled Satyavan's subtle soul from his body, and it was a chilling, heartbreaking sight for Savitri. Satyavan's body lay lifeless, but his essence, a shimmering form, was now in Yama's grasp. As Yama began to walk away, leading Satyavan's soul towards the southern direction, the path of the departed, Savitri, however, wasn't about to stand there and watch. She rose, her body weak from fasting, but her spirit ablaze with resolve, and began to follow him. Yama, probably thinking, "Oh, for crying out loud, now what? Another one who can't let go," tried to gently shoo her away. "Go back, Savitri. Your husband's time is up. No mortal can follow the path of death." But Savitri, ever the eloquent and brilliant one, replied, her voice clear and unwavering, "My lord, wherever my husband goes, I must follow. It is the eternal duty of a devoted wife. My devotion guides my steps." Now, this is where it gets good. This isn't a fight with swords or magic. This is a battle of wits, a philosophical debate on the very edge of existence. Savitri didn't beg or cry, well, maybe a few tears, but mostly she strategized. She started to praise Yama, not in a flattering, superficial way, but by acknowledging his profound role in the cosmic order. She talked about how righteous he was, how fair, how he upheld Dharma, the path of righteousness, cosmic law, and moral duty. She spoke of how Yama ensures justice and balance in the universe, how he treats all beings equally without prejudice. She kept pace with him, walking barefoot through thorns and rough terrain, over rocks and uneven ground, never losing her composure, never stumbling in her words. Yama, a god who probably hears a lot of weeping, wailing, and angry curses from grieving mortals, was actually quite impressed. He was like, "Wow, this woman's got game. She's not just a pretty face. She's got brains, wisdom, and an incredible spirit." He recognized her profound understanding of Dharma and her unwavering devotion. He was caught between his duty and his admiration. He stopped and, out of respect, offered her a boon, anything she desired, anything but Satyavan's life. Savitri, quick as a whip, didn't hesitate. She wasn't greedy. She didn't ask for personal riches. Her first request was selfless. She asked for her father-in-law's eyesight to be restored and for their lost kingdom to be returned. Yama, true to his word and impressed by her virtue, granted it without a second thought. "So be it," he declared. But Savitri didn't stop there. Yama resumed his solemn march, and Savitri continued to follow, unwavering. She continued her eloquent discourse, weaving more profound words about the importance of good company, satsanga, and how noble deeds always lead to happiness and prosperity. She spoke of how Yama himself embodies justice and compassion, and that a virtuous act, even from a god, enhances that virtue. Yama, getting a little exasperated but still admiring her tenacity and wisdom, offered another boon. Savitri then asked for her own father, King Ashwapati, to have many sons to continue his lineage, ensuring the prosperity of his kingdom. Yama, again, granted it, probably thinking, okay, she's really good at this. But she's still not asking for that. Still, Savitri followed. She increased the intensity of her arguments, praising Yama's unwavering commitment to Dharma. She then started talking about the profound importance of a son to carry on a family's name and how that is a sacred duty, a way to ensure spiritual continuity and salvation for ancestors. She subtly but masterfully wove this into her own situation. She even hinted that without Satyavan, she couldn't have sons, and therefore, Yama, by taking Satyavan, would be violating his own principles of Dharma, hindering the continuation of a virtuous lineage. She argued that a true king and a virtuous god like Yama would never want to impede such a sacred duty. Yama, who was probably thinking, is this woman ever going to quit? I've got a busy schedule of soul collecting, and she's practically giving me a philosophical lecture, was truly cornered. He was caught in the web of his own righteous principles, which Savitri had so skillfully used. He saw the undeniable logic in her arguments. He saw her unwavering devotion, her incredible intelligence, her deep understanding of cosmic law. He realized she had outsmarted him, using his own virtues and duties against him, all while maintaining the utmost respect. Finally, with a sigh, or perhaps a cosmic groan of concession, Yama looked at her, a glimmer of admiration in his intense eyes. He had been defeated, not by force, but by pure wisdom and unwavering love. He granted her the ultimate boon, the one he had initially refused, Satyavan's life. He restored Satyavan's soul to his body, and just like that, Satyavan woke up, as if from a deep, peaceful sleep, completely unaware of the dramatic chase scene, the profound philosophical debate, or the fact that his devoted wife had just argued him back from the brink of death. Savitri, her heart overflowing with joy and relief, gently helped Satyavan up. They made their way back to their humble forest dwelling. By the time they arrived, a wondrous change had already occurred. Satyavan's parents had miraculously regained their eyesight, and messengers arrived from their former kingdom, announcing that their kingdom had been restored to them. Everything Savitri had asked for had come true. Savitri and Satyavan returned to their rightful place, living a long and happy life together, filled with love, wisdom, and prosperity. They ruled justly, remembering the humility of their forest years. So, what's the big takeaway from this amazing, epic story? It's not just about a woman saving her husband, although that's certainly impressive. It's about the incredible, transformative power of love, intelligence, unwavering perseverance, and profound faith. Savitri didn't just accept fate, she challenged it, not with physical force, but with her unparalleled wit, her deep knowledge of Dharma, and her absolute, unwavering devotion. She showed us that sometimes, with enough smarts, enough heart, and enough conviction, you can truly move mountains, or in this case, convince the very god of death to change his mind. It's a pretty good reminder that even when things look absolutely, positively hopeless, when the universe itself seems stacked against you, there's always a chance to turn the tide. And sometimes, the sharpest, most powerful weapon you have is your brilliant mind and your unshakable spirit. Take note, Hollywood. This is how you write a strong female character. No superpowers needed, just pure brainpower and heart. Savitri, proving that brains and devotion are the ultimate superpowers. If you loved this deep dive into her story, give us a thumbs up, share the wisdom, and subscribe so you don't miss our next adventure.